कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में इतना सा फर्क है, एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी। ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा ही। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन ही नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to Franchise India. I am Gaurav, Marya, Chairman of Franchise India Group. So, friends, this is a very special webinar we do every Saturday, which we call Successpreneur. This webinar was started with the intent that we can educate people who want to start their own business, how they should select the right opportunity, and if they are looking to start a franchise, how they should really choose the right franchise for themselves. So friends, this is going to be a 25-minute webinar where we're going to talk about how to select the right opportunity, and also if you are looking to start a franchise, which industry, which brand you should choose, and how can Franchise India help you. But before we go ahead, let me give you introduction on Franchise India. Franchise India was started way back in 1999 as India's first start your own business platform. We started with the idea to help anybody who wanted to start a business can come to our platform. As we speak today, Franchise India is hosting about 9 events across India, and I'm sitting on this webinar. So a lot of people benefit almost every day from Franchise India when they're looking to start a business. Because starting a business is not an easy decision. It's a very, very complex decision. And if you want to really start your business, you need to go through a lot of things, a lot of issues. It's just not a financial issue. It is also a lot of mindset issue, you know. So it's a very important aspect that how you really choose the right opportunity for yourself. So friends, we want to make this webinar very interactive because I have done a lot of webinars, and I think the best benefit people get is then when they ask questions. So if you want to ask any questions, you can use the Q&A box. There is a Q&A box down there, which you can ask any question, and I'll be happy to address that question for you. Let me start with the first question. How many of you are looking to start your own new business? Very important. How many of you, आप में से कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो अपने लिए नया बिजनेस ढूंढ रहे हैं और वो 60 to 90 days में आप डिसीजन लेना चाहते हैं? How many of you want to start your own business in next 60 to 90 days? Give me answer, use the Q&A box, and also give me a preference of language. Are you comfortable in English or Hindi? And third thing, which is also important, give me your city or location where you're coming from. So I will encourage everybody so that we know each other well and we are able to do that. First, give me an answer. How many of you want to start your own business in next 60 to 90 days? Very importantly, your preference of language, Hindi or English, and also about your city. So let me, Ramya wants to start. Ramya, give me also your city, which city you're coming from. Sulesh is from Mumbai and he's interested. So Sulesh, thank you for joining this webinar. Ramya is from Bangalore. Others also, I will encourage everybody to really share what city you're coming from and when you want to really start the business. And that's very, very important. Kumbhan says English. He's from Muzaffarpur, Bihar. A lot of actually entrepreneurs these days come from Bihar because the employment opportunity is low in that market. So a lot of people want to start their business. And fortunately, we have done a lot of work in Bihar. Franchise India is currently also, we are hosting a roadshow in Bihar. So our teams are traveling in different parts of city. And I feel that some of the finest entrepreneurs I have seen are coming from Bihar. A great opportunity, great transformation. And these states are also changing quite a bit. A lot of people used to migrate earlier from the states of Bihar, UP, Odisha, and things that now opportunities are being created there. And that's what is very interesting. And that's what India needs. We need to create a lot of opportunities in hometowns of ours where we can create further employment. And entrepreneurs do that. Entrepreneurs create further employment for people. So Ramamurthy is from food industry. He wants to start a food industry and he's looking for kiosk business. Very tough business to run a kiosk. Looks very easy because it's a small format business, but it's sometimes very, very tough business. Manish Agarwal, welcome. Manish wants to start immediately. Look, I asked this question and I always ask this question. In last 24 years, Franchise India has worked with millions and millions of entrepreneurs. A lot of people have benefited. But I can tell you today, as we speak, we have about 8 million people who have come to Franchise India, to our shows, to our magazines, to our any kind of platforms, our digital platforms. They've attended my webinars. So many people have attended that, but very few actually make up decision to start a business. Others are exploring. They're just exploring. The difference between people who make that decision and people who just explore is mindset. People who keep exploring are covered with a lot of fears, a lot of anxiety. It would work, it would not work, and a lot of other things happen with them. So they're not able to make the right decision. People who would have a right mindset, they have a very firm mindset, they are able to make the decision. So one of the first steps I advise anybody who comes to me is that if you want to start your entrepreneurial journey, you need to set the date. And date is DATE. And I'll explain date to me, what date means. D stands for discipline. You need to make yourself disciplined towards your entrepreneurial journey. A stands for accountability. You need to make yourself accountable for that. Why you want to do that? It's very, very important. T stands for training. Training is very important for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs have to train themselves. This is something which you can get yourself trained. Even if you buy a franchise or buy any other business, you need to train yourself to be an entrepreneur. And E is encouragement. Nobody else is going to encourage you. You need to encourage yourself every single day of your entrepreneurial journey. It's a very, very important aspect. Keep it in mind that first thing, before you even jump on your business, set your date. And that date is very, very important. A lot of people come to me. I said, put yourself a date, that this is where date you really like to start your business. And then when they come back to me, when they have started a business, they come back and say it worked. Because once you set a date, say 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 5 months from now, and you start working every single day, you're progressing on that, it'll come through. Because you will cover your anxiety, your confusion by a lot of regular research. And this is where Franchise India really works with you. We work with you almost every day on your progression towards becoming an entrepreneur journey. Because a lot of people are actually starting the business first time. So this brings my next question. How many of you are exploring the business first time in your life, that you have not done business? Like Manisha said, he's a retail professional, now exploring to start a business. I know how difficult it is for a professional to start own business. It's very, very difficult. Why? Because you are already in some kind of a fixed income structure. And fixed income structure is a trap. Actually, as humans, we don't want to work for anybody. We want to be free. This is a very clear human nature. So if given a choice, nobody would work for anybody. That's the reality of the world. But people work for somebody because they want to get into this whole comfort of getting that fixed structure. And then when you get fixed structure and it keeps going up, you're also getting even bigger in trap, which means when you are at an early level job, you don't mind leaving it because you're not stuck in that thing. But when you reach to say a CXO level, it becomes even more difficult because now you have so many other things are linked with this, your social status, your EMIs, your other expenses, your family expenses, a lot of events are happening in your life. You don't want to destabilize your lifestyle and so on and so forth. So it becomes even more difficult to take that decision. There was a guy who came to me. He was a very good friend of mine, very senior guy, president of an organization, retail company. And he came to me. He was on a notice period. He had 3 months notice period with his company. And he came to me. He says, Gaurav, I want to give 3 months to really put myself into shoes of an entrepreneur. And if I don't able to get into 3 months, I will have to take up a job. And he had a lot of offers because he was a very senior guy. And exactly 3 months later, he sent me a message that he's taken another job. Because in these 3 months, he was busy handovers, he was not able to prepare himself, and this would never happen. So you need to really go out and tell yourself and put sometimes a little bit on discomfort, a planned discomfort, which means a planned discomfort will mean that you have to give yourself 3 to 4 months where you're doing nothing else and preparing yourself for your entrepreneurial journey. And that would happen. And that anytime you would put that 3 months for preparing yourself, this would come through very easily. So let's start with the first very important aspect, how to choose the right opportunity, which is very, very important. Very, very important. So I call the 4 connects. 4 dots have to be connected. The first dot is the industry you want to choose. It's extremely, extremely important in current times because there is so much of disruption going on. So much of disruption. The way we used to do things would completely change. And the next cycle of business which is coming in is the metaverse and things of that nature, the digital living is going to change everything we do. And I can see every business would get deeply impacted. So you need to really now understand that what would be the industry for future, which you want to be part of it and why. Why is very, very important. What are you bringing outside money that you are able to complement in that industry? Money anybody can bring in. So if you look at it, even the large corporates, look at Reliance. Look at Reliance, what businesses they are in. They are in retail, they are in telecom, they are in energy business, and that's it. And a little bit here and there. But they are not in every business. They are not in automobile. They are not in everything that. So while these industries also have a great opportunity, and with Reliance Capital and Reliance Money with available, they can jump into every business. But they don't find themselves strategically right in that business, which means that they don't have the competence or the availability or the competition is too high. So you need to ask this very important question to yourself. Why are you choosing this industry? And if you're not able to take a decision very clearly on one industry, pick up 3 or 4 industries, do a deeper research and keep asking yourself, what are you bringing in that industry outside money, which complements you to that industry? And what is this industry going to look like in next 4 or 5 years? Is it going to grow? What kind of competition is available? What disruption is going to come? Where is the disruption is going to come from? Is there immediate competition is there creating a disruption or something which is not seen? Like retail. Disruption was e-commerce first. And now a new disruption is coming in retail, which is that classic distribution is going to break. So no more in next 4 or 5 years, you will have the CNFs and the distributors and likes of them. They all would fade out. Companies would put large distribution centers and this would go directly to the retailer and direct to consumer. So direct to consumer is a real story now. So this is all going to be disrupted. So all classic businesses are risk to me. And that's why companies need to really, or businesses need to evolve. So choose the right industry. If you're not very certain, really put yourself into 3 or 4 industries and do a deeper research in that industry. So friends, if I would like to have a question, any person who wants to ask about particular industry you're exploring and any examples you want me to give on that industry, I'll be happy to do that and put it on the Q&A box. Manish, you are asking a question. You want to get into omni-channel? Absolutely. Omni-channel, direct to consumer. That's the space, very, very important to be done. And today it's not about this or that, it has to be integrated, right? So even if you are doing a retail play, this has to have a direct to consumer play. So, and also look at businesses which have a very clear subscription kind of a cycle, which means that you have data of how people consume and how frequently they consume. So that is very, very important. So industry is the one first dot, which is extremely, extremely important. The second dot is the brand. It's also important because what kind of brand you want to choose and why are you choosing that brand? It's also very, very important. What is the kind of support this brand is going to give you? What kind of learning you're going to get out of that? Sometimes people buy a franchise and they expect that everything would be done by the brand owner and they over expect that and they fail. End of the day, even if you take a franchise or start your own startup, this is your startup. You need to run that business. You are the business owner. Somebody can give you just the guidance. The biggest thing you should ask any franchisor ever you take it, not about better margin, reducing the franchise fees, royalties. These are one-time negotiations. These are all one-time negotiations. You can do that. And Franchise India helps you to do that. But the biggest thing you need to ask any franchisor is training. And I can tell you, 90% of franchise companies or brands are not ready with the training structure. And that's what I like about US companies. When you take a Subway franchise, you have to go through a mandatory training for 15 days. And if you are taking, say, a master franchise for any American company, you won't have to go for a training for 2 to 3 months. And actually, somebody putting $1 million also has to really work in store with sleeves on and really have to work there. I myself have gone to 2 coffee universities. I've gone to Subway Sandwich University. I've gone to Chicago for a McDonald's Burger University. So I've seen all that training capabilities they have built, because the consistent training capabilities, and that's difference you can see when you go to Starbucks and see the people working there, how they're trained and how they work, and versus anything which you see an Indian restaurant, there is a difference between that. And that difference is all about training. So one of the important aspects you need to look at any brand which you're choosing is the training. How much training they are going to provide you, because you need to learn and train yourself to be an entrepreneur. There are 2 types of people who go to secure a business. One, go to a company and say, what you can do for me. And second, go prepared. They know that with your brand, I can do this, because they are very sure how they want to run that business. And they have trained themselves that they're confident now that they can run and operate the business. So first is industry, second is a brand. Third, very important aspect is, I've written a book also, and I talk about it, that people should not buy a business just because they're passionate about it. They should buy a business which can give them enough income so that they can follow their passion. It's a difference, right? I hear a lot of people say, I wanted to start this because I'm very passionate about it. Actually, it's wrong. You should not do business just because you're passionate about it. You should do business which can give you meaningful returns so that you can follow your passion. Passions can be, you want to go see world, you want to see the world, you want to be part of wildlife, you want to be a photographer, you want to really go on a beach and relax. You can have anything which you want to do in your life, but your business should pay for it. So that's very, very important aspect. So business, when you're choosing, should really fulfill your financial goals. That's very, very important. And what is your financial goal? You should first define it. A lot of people want to start their business with the answer of return on investment. Return on investment is the capital you've deployed and what it is going to give you. But that's not the real answer. Answer is, what do you want to do in next 5 years? And is this business have enough growth to fulfill that dream of yours? Because it might be return on investment means that I invested 30 lakh rupees in a business. A good scenario, this business would give me return in 2.5 years, and I run this business for 5 years. Maximum, I put 30 lakh rupees, I got 60, 65, 70 lakh rupees as back from that business. But that's not your goal. Your goal was to do much more in next 5 years. This is your 5 years and most critical 5 years of your life. You want to create wealth. And if you want to do that, is this business good enough to give you that growth cycle? Can it create a multiplier for you? Can you give you very much more value creation? So that's extremely very, very important. And this part is most ignored when people are selecting business. So one of the areas which you need to do, maybe spend a day with some of our consultants. Our top consultants are working across 94 cities. Work with us, understand how your business you're choosing would service your financial goal. What kind of financial goal you really want to have? That's very, very important. What are the major milestones coming in next 5 to 10 years in your life? What are major events happening? Maybe you want to build your house. Is this going to give you enough money that you can really buy a house? Is this going to give you enough money to sponsor your kids' education abroad? Is it going to give you money to have some major event which you want to do? Or you are looking for retirement. People at 50 sometimes start a business. In next 10 years, they want to work and they don't want to retire. They want financial freedom. So all that pieces are extremely, extremely important to do that. So this is your third point, which you need to do that. It's extremely, extremely important. So first is industry. Second is the brand you've chosen. And third is that this is going to meet your financial goal. And fourth is understanding your micro market. Micro market is very important. Micro market means that the business where you want to start your business. Say if you're starting in a particular neighborhood, which is in your mind, or you're choosing a particular city, you want to start that. What is happening in that industry for that particular brand, for the financial opportunity you need to have in that market? Because you need to see the micro competition. It might have a micro competition and might have a different behavior or consumption behavior for that particular market. Like, for example, I did a brand called Jumbo Vada Pav way back in Bombay. early days. And whenever you used to take this brand outside Bombay, it used to fail. Why? Because there was a peculiarity in Bombay because of the railway station, the local stations, where a lot of people come quickly and they want cheap vada pav, and a very big sale out would happen. But where would you get these locations outside Bombay? There is no other location. So the uniqueness of that market created that opportunity of these kind of formats. But whenever you take that format into, say, Ahmedabad or any other place, it used to collapse because you will not get 10,000 people suddenly coming out of a station are hungry. So you will not get that kind of opportunity anywhere. So you need to really understand what is your market telling you, what is happening in your market. So summarizing this part, this is very, very important part, is choose your industry, choose your brand, understand your financial goals, and understand your micro market. All these 4 points, Franchise India consultants work deeply with you to really help you to choose the right opportunity. Once you've done that, now it is important to really understand what kind of a money required to run this business. And this is where, friends, I have seen 60 to 70% of all failures happen in business is not because of hard work. Not because of hard work. It is not about the right idea. It is not about the right brand. It is always about undercapitalization. Entrepreneurs tend to believe that they can turn around businesses in months, which doesn't happen. They feel that a business is just going to start and start making a lot of money. It doesn't happen. So I have a 60-40 rule. 60-40 rule means any investment which you are forecasting, 60% is your capex, which means that the money should go into the starting the business, and 40% of that capital deployment which you have has to be your working capital. And that starts from the day one when you start your operations. So which means 60% is before the operation is started, and 40% is kept from the day one you starting that operation. That's very important, because if you don't have that 40% and you put all the money to start the business, you're going to collapse. Even the greatest of entrepreneurs, hardworking people. I always give this example. There was a good employee of mine, came to me, he wanted to start an entrepreneurial journey. And I always encourage people to do that. He started the business. 3 months, every day he's sitting there working hard. He was creating a South Indian restaurant, and he used to send me pictures. Very deeply rooted guy. Almost everything he was trying to do himself. He was painting walls himself. Everywhere the money can be saved, he was saving. And he started the operations. And he was low when he started the operation because sales never came as expected. And then he started blaming a little bit location. Then he started blaming, I don't have enough money to market. And 3 months, he closed the business. 3 months itself. Now look at it. Somebody who's new to business starts a business, closes in 3 months because he has no sustenance. He had no sustenance to look after the business. He blamed almost everybody around it, which means that he blamed the location, he blamed the operations, he blamed people he's not getting, he was not able to do the right marketing and other things around it. Even to that time, Swiggy, Zomato, delivery and so on and so forth. But he didn't blame himself because he never planned it right. He never planned it right, because if he would have planned, he would have not started this business or not invested into this business at the first place. And if he started the business, he should have at least 6 to 8 months of good working capital to turn it around. So very important aspect is, how do you really calculate the investment and gestation? Gestation is a very, very important thing to calculate. Every business starts with 4 cycles. 4 cycles of operation. One is your, what I call, incubation. The incubation cycle is the most important part of your business. When you start, you don't know about your business. You might have learned a little bit, franchisor must have given you training, but this is your business, this is your location. It's going to create a lot of anxiety, a lot of surprises for you. Your talent is new, your team is new, everything is new for you. In this first 3 months, never overindulge. Don't do anything which would spend more money. Don't do grand launches. No reason to do a launch. Even if you want to do a small celebration with your closest family, just do that and open up the store. No big launches should happen in the first 3 months. First 3 months has to be quieter to go and learn the business itself. Every day improvement, every day micro improvement you have to monitor. When you go every day close your business, you need to understand how you moved a little up in everything process of entire. Second thing, you need to learn every single role of that business. It might be a small business, say restaurant. You need to understand back of the house, front of the house, software, everything, procurement, supply chain, everything. Talk to every customer. So if you are able to do that part, so now you've mastered that business, at least you know that what really takes to run and operate this business. It is now coming in your control. Otherwise, it's a wild animal. It's not in your control. The next quarter is stability. You need to bring stability. You need to bring in cash break even, which means that you stop your burn. Your business is now taking care of itself. That's very, very important. And this time your teams also start stabilizing. The third cycle, which is the next 3 months or next 6 months, is your growth cycle, where you want to really go all out to tell people, because you know your business is stable. There is where you need money, because your marketing spends would go up, your this would go up, and your business starts growing up. And finally, it goes down to what I call sustainability. Sustainability is where you can run the business without you being there, which means the business has gone to a level where now you can really set processes and systems, and your team has come down to that level that it can run by itself. So always remember 4 cycles: incubation, stability, growth, and sustainability. At sustainability, you build value, which means your business is profitable, it runs on systems, you are not required. And these 3 things, whenever happens, the business has value being built. At that time, you can look at profitable exit. Smart entrepreneurs do these cycles, and that's how they become serial entrepreneur. They sell businesses at profit and then start other businesses. Or you can just multiply, because now you know how to do it. What stops you not to multiply? I've rather written a book called Science of Reproducing Success. I believe that if you have successfully built something, the best thing is to just duplicate that. And that's how smart entrepreneurs do. They don't do different things. They do the same thing and multiply that success. Like Videocon at one time used to have a market share of 40%. And then they started seeing Samsung and the LGs, all these global companies started coming, Sony, everybody started coming, and the market share went down. So they started a different strategy. Because they knew how to make televisions, they knew how to do distribution, they knew how to create a brand. So they created multiple brands. At one point in time, same factory, same business used to run Videocon, Sansui, Toshiba, Akai, multiple other brands. People didn't know that, but it was all coming from single company, single factory. And they reproduced the success. And their market share was still 40-45%, but it is coming from multiple other brands, which people were seeing it differently. So smart entrepreneurs know how to duplicate what you have created, either in different brand or something, because you now know the industry so well, you know the business so well, you know the talent so well. So friends, this is how you build value. Now, next part is that how can Franchise India help you? Franchise India can help you at different stages. One stage is really to choose what is the right opportunity for you. And we work with you. We have today 750 brands available in almost every space. It's not easy to aggregate so much. While Franchise India portfolio is about 12,000 brands, both international and domestic, but currently 750 brands are active with us. So any company which is actively franchising, it can be Reliance Jio Petrol Pumps, it can be Tata Croma, it can be Mahindra Auto Service, any kind of a business is available with Franchise India. So we run you through this whole process of 4 dots, which I created, to choose the right opportunities out of that. But the important part is not really just the information. Information you can still get from Franchise India through Franchise India webinars and seminars or exhibitions, forums. But the bigger thing is how to evaluate what is right. And that's where our many years of experience comes in. Franchise India is 1,200 people company with 94 cities operations. We are also having international operations. We help you to choose the right opportunity, which is right for you, right for your financials goals, right for your risk appetite, because everybody has a different risk appetite. Some have big risk appetite, some don't have that. So if you don't have risk appetite, you need to have a very, very stable business, which has a strong predictability. So there are a lot of investment opportunities also. Franchise India is doing some investment opportunities where people come to us and say, I don't have a time, but I want to start a business. And because I'm occupied in my other things, I said, then you need to look at maybe investment opportunity where you don't have to put your time. There are 3 things. One is return on investment, return on intelligence, and return on involvement. These are, I call the ROI. 3 ROI: return on investment, return on intelligence, and return on involvement. So you can bring all 3, and you can choose to bring 2, and you can bring 1, depending on where you are, right? So depending on what you're bringing, we will choose the right opportunity for you. And for that, if you want Franchise India services, you need to register with us. It's a small registration, only 25,000 rupees for a year with us. And you are registered as a member with Franchise India. And we put very senior consultant with you who starts working with you and guiding you through what right opportunity is there. And if there is no rush, you can take and evaluate starting with 10 or 15 brands. Even you want 100 brands to evaluate before you take the right decision. we will work with it. We have all the patience. We never push any investor to make a decision. Even if they've done this 4 months and say, I'm not ready, we are fine. That's why we do this membership. Membership is one of the most important investments for you, for your starting point, for your journey to become an entrepreneur. So friends, this was today's webinar. I will also put my direct number. And if you have any questions which I can answer, and this is no obligation, you don't have to worry for any kind of fee. If you feel that I should answer a specific question for you, anything which you feel would help you to make that decision to start a business or not to start or hold for a moment, reach out to me or WhatsApp me directly. It's 98102 44330. I will again repeat. It's 98102 44330. This is my direct number. Reach out to me. Tell me what is your interest area, what you're looking at, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. And if you want to really explore further, then you should become member with Franchise India and choose the right opportunity. Always follow this principle: information, evaluation, negotiation. Information on many, many brands and opportunities. Evaluation, what is right for you, and negotiation hard before you make an agreement with any company. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining this webinar. Hope I was able to give you some insights on your opportunity. Keep tuned in for different opportunities. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock, there is a great webinar happening. It's a car rental company. Again, a great opportunity for especially luxury, leisure and luxury car rental company. So if you are interested, you should join 12 o'clock. And my colleague Kanika would be happy to share a link with you. So thank you, friends. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar. Thank you very much, and keep coming to Franchise India webinars. Every day we have a webinar at 12 o'clock. Thank you very much.